Often people think that Switzerland's wealth comes only because of their status as a fiscal haven. But think about it, there are other countries like Panama, Cyprus, the Republic of Liberia. These are fiscal havens too. Don't forget, Africa not only offers low taxes to international companies, but it also offers them opacity. But still, these countries remain low-income countries, while Switzerland remains one of the wealthiest countries in the world. And all of this comes with them having no natural resources, not compromising on democracy or human rights. In fact, Switzerland has one of the most egalitarian political systems in the world, and its welfare system is as good as that of Norway or Denmark. Additionally, their citizens not only have the right to vote every 4 years, but every 4 months. The Swiss don't just choose their leaders, but they choose their policies, with referendums happening several times a year. Switzerland has one of the world's best political systems, and we believe that this is the reason that they are successful. In fact, we think that the Swiss system should be a model for other countries, and in this video, we're going to tell you why.
Reason number 1. Decentralization.
From a practical point of view, Switzerland is what is known as a confederation. In fact, it's the only confederation that exists on the planet. It is made up of 26 states, which are called cantons. The only thing that these cantons have in common are a constitution, foreign policy, and a currency. Aside from that, they are totally different from one another. Let's look at an example. Let's say you make a salary of 6,000 Swiss francs and you live in the region of Jura. In that case, you're going to pay income tax of 14%. But if you made the same amount of money and you live in the region of Zug, your income tax is only going to be 4%. Let's look at a different example. If you have a shop in Geneva, then you're going to have to close your shop at 6 p.m. But if you own a shop in Zurich, you're free to keep your shop open for as many hours as you want. Because of this system, cantons can adjust their laws to the peculiarities of each individual territory. And what is even more important than this is that they can compete with each other. This explains why, in general, the cantons have such low taxation. But our story doesn't end here. Switzerland is so decentralized that they have 4 official languages: German, French, Italian, and Romansh. This means that if you happen to go to Geneva, which is a French-speaking part, you're not going to hear anyone speaking German. The billboards, the road signs, the local newspapers, everything is in French. The same goes for Zurich with German or Lugano with Italian.
Reason number 2. Switzerland has no president.
Every country has a head of government who is responsible for certain things, right? Well, no, not Switzerland, but don't get me wrong, they're not living in anarchy or anything. This is what they do. They vote for a federal parliament, which is similar to Congress in the United States of America. This parliament then chooses 7 people who are going to become something like ministers or secretaries. All of these people have the same amount of power. Each year, one of them takes a turn becoming Switzerland's international representative. Technically, this person is the president of Switzerland, but they have no specific powers over the other 6 people. And as I said, they rotate this person every year. This is an important difference in the Swiss mentality because in other countries, the president is a really powerful person. But in Switzerland, it's just a symbolic thing because all of the decision-making is done by a team.
Reason number 3. Direct democracy.
This is the most important part of Swiss politics, their referendums. In fact, most of their laws are chosen by a popular vote, some at the federal level, some at the cantonal level. A proposal for a referendum only requires 50,000 signatures, while one that's going to amend the constitution requires 100,000. Now, don't get me wrong, other countries do allow their populations to have referendums. For example, in Spain, this is totally possible, but a referendum proposal requires 500,000 signatures, and they can't do any referendums that will change the constitution. Because of this system, Switzerland holds several referendums every single year. Every 4 months, the Swiss go to the polling station and they will vote on any proposals that have been put forward in the previous 4 months. Now let's look at an example of one of these referendums from the year 2015. They had to choose whether they wanted to create a basic income for every Swiss citizen. They said no, by the way. They also had to decide on some amendments to the Assisted Reproduction Act, and they also had to vote on some laws related to public transport. Interestingly, these polls also have a really big turnout. 60% of Swiss people for this 2015 referendum went to the polls.